Hello, chat. Welcome to Behind the Roleplay episode. Oh God, 7. Hang on. Let me just say, this is kind of crazy. I just realized this. Chi-Chi's favorite number is 7, and she's on episode 7. That's actually kind of crazy. What the fuck? That's so crazy. Talk about fucking meant to be. Holy shit. Well, I don't. Anyways. We'll bring that into we'll see. That's pretty crazy to actually think about, but appreciate y'all coming by. We have 2 special guests. We have Aria. We also have Chi-Chi going to be on Behind the Roleplay. Gonna be basically just kind of talking about you know, what how the RP came to be what it is. There were some stories that, you know, they weren't even supposed to really be a family, but then they kind of stuck through it and RP'd it out, and now they're, you know, one family all together. And I think it's really cool to kind of see that. A lot of people do talk about like relationship RP and all that other stuff, but no one's ever really talked about family RP. So we're gonna kind of dive into family RP. Also, Chi-Chi, you know, in the past has you know, received her, you know, Chi-Chi's Locked and Loaded. So we're gonna talk about the story behind that. And Aria, obviously, you know, there's a lot of good RP with Aria, so kind of dig into it and basically just, you know, explore and chill and all that fun stuff. I gotta find like the chill. There we go. Hang on, I make this shit like really somewhat quiet. There we go. Okay, we're gonna bring him in. All right. So again, I wanted to thank Aria and Chi-Chi for coming on. Let's bring him on. Hello.
Hello. Hello, hello.
Hi. Also, Chi-Chi, I don't know if you knew or not, but this is episode 7, and you're here.
Oh, hell yeah.
Isn't that crazy? I just realized that.
It is like meant to be or something.
It is. See, that's wild. Anyways, I think again, I appreciate y'all coming on. I guess the main thing I kind of want to like dig into is like, and obviously we talked about this beforehand, was like, you know, a lot of people talk about like relationships RP and just, you know, mostly just focus on that. But I feel like with family RP, it's like, I don't know, like obviously it doesn't really change your RP too much with your character, but it does change. Well, I guess does it change your character's actions? I guess kind of starting with you, Aria, like with RPing as Aria being a mom, does that change the way that you kind of RP with Aria, or does it really just kind of doesn't really affect anything like that?
It doesn't really affect like the way I role play. Like I wouldn't change anything what I do. I mean, Arya's already a civ, so it's not like she's in jail constantly.
Right.
But it does like add this element that you have this person to care for and pay attention to.
Damn straight.
And she doesn't let me forget about it. Yeah, I don't know. I look like a crackhead, wifey.
She's all jacked up on Red Bull, bro.
But yeah, it doesn't really affect my actions. It's more of, hey, I have this person, or for Arya, I have these 5 kids that I have to individually pay attention to. Just so, I mean, Chi-Chi's obviously the one that gets the most attention, and then there's like others that, you know, are very independent and don't really talk to Arya. So it's definitely kind of, I guess, like, you know, real life as a parent, you know, you have to pay attention to them and give them what they need.
Yeah, and I guess it's kind of like, I guess, again, I don't really know too much about Chi-Chi's, like, I would say, like, family tree, but Chi-Chi's a mom, right? To a few...
Oh, no.
Yeah. Well, technically, I'm a mom of the 3. I got Lewis and Haley and 1, but I'll keep that one on the down low. You know, we'll talk about that another time. He's pretty much, he moved, you know?
Oh, yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
So with how I don't know how quick you kind of want to jump it, but what we said before is that the way that Chi-Chi got her business, like how she got it was very a long process, because originally Craig Gnarly, you know, he like, you know, I'll never forget the time I actually RP with him, and he was in the process of trying to get that business and like try and get just the idea of it. But as soon as they kind of got the idea, it got transferred over to you. How was that kind of into your RP? Like, obviously that's a big responsibility, right? Being like just put onto your lap, like, oh, I got this whole business. I mean, same with you, Arya, right? I mean, that kind of like that happened to you also, right? Kind of just like just fell on your lap, and it's a big responsibility. So I guess starting with Chi-Chi, like, how did that feel with going from living a, I don't know, like not full civ, but like, you said before, like you did some crim stuff, but it was never really anything that you kind of got caught. But like, how was that transition kind of going into that?
Well, the transition's crazy. So before, I went to Echo, I did like, crim stuff for RP and all that. So going into Echo, I was, my plan was, find, a gang, like just find a place called home, hang out with them and know people. But eventually, as, when 2.0 came out, I got an offer from Craig to work for a gun store. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, why not, And then, so I worked I probably busted my ass for hours, for like months and months, until I guess one day, Craig, gave me the offer. And then I really thought about it heavy because, to be honest, even though, we were supposed to be like clean and all that, while I'm still, or was like the manager and working there, I was doing crime. I was like robbing houses, I was doing little stuff. And I was like, this is still, I'm gonna miss doing this stuff. But once, you get offered being the owner, that's like a bigger risk. You lose everything. So I was like, you know what, let's go try this. Let's just take a whole different route. And yeah, here I am. I play the Civ life. Blessed by Craig Gnarly, thank God, thank you. Shout out to Craig Gnarly. For letting have, opportunity to own a gun store. And yeah, so that's where I am now. No more crim life for now, though. For now.
Well, so with how much it's what 2.0 now, right? With that, with like okay, so obviously there's been a big change in kind of like the crim stuff that you can do. Like you now can, from my understanding, is like there's transport or something like that you can do now. There's obviously the gallery heist. There's boosting.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like
boosting.
There's
I want to try boosting so bad.
So with kind of how the crim side of things is kind of expanded to like a whole nother level that, it used to be, I mean, it still is, like, if you're first starting out, you rob a store, work your way up to a bank. But like, if you don't want to do bank stuff, you can still be a crim and like just do like the boosting and stuff like that. Obviously, if you really wanted to, you can obviously make a character, base your whole character around just boosting. But is there a moment where you wish that like you can have Chi-Chi just a part of that, kind of like that side of things, where it's not just like obviously our banks, but just like the heist part, the boosting,
Hell yeah.
like all that?
Well, again, if she was able to, one thing she loves is just, like she likes racing, but she's not like a big fan of it. She's just like speeding through the city and driving.
Sounds like
So
Aria.
so boosting. So pretty much it's, if it was able to, I'll be boosting all day. Getting, just pretty much doing. I don't know. I love the adrenaline rush, pretty much.
Yeah.
And you don't really get that from the, just standing at a store. But I have no problem with, doing what I do. But compared to boosting to selling guns, it's a whole different 180.
Well, I think that just the adrenaline rush of just I don't know, because technically speaking, the gun side of things, like you're the only really competitor with that, right? So you basically have the whole monopoly board of guns, so you could play it however you want. But like compared to the mechanic shops and like food restaurants and I mean pretty much like, well, the dealerships too. Like there's 2 dealerships technically speaking, but like is there a moment where you're just kind of like, yeah, I don't really have to stress too much because you're technically like you're the main source of weapons. Is there a moment where you kind of wish there was competition with that, or do you think it would be overkill?
To be honest, there is already competition out there. Only because supposedly I'm not supposed to sell guns to felons or people without licenses. So you got people who buy guns and then they either rob houses to get the guns, or they buy like a big bulk from me, or like a couple guns, and then they just sell it on the streets. So like even though they make more money, but for me it's like, hey, you paid me my money for my business, you know, in a legal way. Once you leave there, I don't care what happens. You know, once that gun leaves that door, you can do
Yeah.
whatever you want. So yeah, so I do have some competition, but yeah, I there's a stressful times. That's why sometimes people be asking like, hey, but low key, we all know that Chi-Chi's not the cleanest one ever. She should be doing some bad stuff. So
Okay, so it's
don't hate
kind
the
so it's
best
still
stuff.
competition, but it's very like, I guess you're in competition with yourself because you sell the guns to the person, but they obviously go out and try to sell the weapons for their own profit. But you basically set the profit, the profit that they buy it from you, technically,
Mhm.
right? So
True.
so you could technically make it cost out the wazoo, but then they try to
Oh
sell it, but you still make profit out of it, even if they try to sell it at a lower price, right?
well, I don't with full meta soon TM. My prices will be changing. So we did talk about it with my store employees and staff. I love them all. Shout out to you guys. Love you guys. But prices will be changing because we do notice that the black market for like even just SNS and Berettas has been kind of competitive on the streets again, compared to mine. So
Really? Like
yeah,
dramatically, or?
it's not dramatically, but I could see a change because like even some people will just blatantly tell me like I'll be like, sorry, I can sell you a gun, you don't have a license. They're like, oh, it's fine. I could see there's a person I know selling it for like either 900 or a grand, and I'm like, all right, well, then go there. Like I'm
Yeah.
not gonna stop you. So if you want to go for it, but you know, I just tell them, hey, if you really want one, it's not just what people do. It's pretty obvious. They get one of their homies with the license to get the gun, and then they leave out with a gun, and then once they leave the doors, they just give it to the homie.
Yeah. Okay. So it's
How it
still
is.
competition, but it's just kind of like the streets competition, I guess. Like the streets is your competition, basically. Like how they set the margin and it affects like, oh, I can just get cheaper here. It's like, well, okay, like I guess you can go ahead and do that type.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, in the future, like hopefully, the prices will change. So hopefully, the competition will kind of slow down a little bit.
Yeah. So Arya, kind of going towards your side of things, uh obviously people who are listening, if you may not know, if you don't know, then you live under a rock, but Arya works for Dynasty 8. She's also runs Dynasty 8. Dynasty 8 sells a lot of houses, like all the time, right? I mean, even when you're not even in the city, you're getting emails basically like,
Oh
hey,
yeah, it's constant.
yeah, constant. So there's been this influx I've noticed. I don't know if you may have, I mean, obviously you noticed because you see it, but I don't know if you may have, if it's like, it's more, noticeable through you because you obviously deal with a lot more. But for someone who doesn't, like myself, people are trying to sell their houses at a rapid pace now than what it used to be. It used to be people would just buy houses and that's it, right? But now people are trying to flip their houses. And I've noticed that people are trying to flip their houses and they're starting to like scam people a lot more now and like set the prices at to a certain amount that's not even like, it's not even worth it, but they still buy them, is there a moment where you kind of like get tired of seeing people trying to like scam people out of selling houses where if they just literally go through you, it could be 10 times cheaper if they just go like take the RP and just go through Dynasty? Or is there a moment to where you're just like, no problem, not even gonna worry about it type thing?
Well, honestly, I haven't seen anything like that. I've seen, like, of course, like people put the house up for sale,
Yeah.
but most of the time they're like under market price. So I know there was recently an instance where somebody, quote unquote, got scammed from a private sale. I don't know what that instance was, but just to hear that was really crazy because we've never heard that in like the history of Dynasty. Um, but I mean, it's so easy to do, right? I
Yeah.
mean, there's a process to, giving a house, so you could easily just get their money and not give them keys. And yeah, I don't know. It's the first time I've seen it. It's really an interesting dynamic. I just worry that it brings a bad name to like Dynasty itself because people always relate, housing to Dynasty, even if it's a private sale. Um, but in order of like scam advertisements, I haven't seen
Yeah.
anything like that.
So with kind of like how we talked about Chi Chi kind of got her store, the gun store. with how Arya went from literally being a nurse from Pillbox and kind of made her way through to where now she owns Dynasty. How was that transition kind of like take into consideration, like, you know, obviously there's like a lot of story that kind of have to go through, and obviously we don't have to go through all the story, but just kind of picking out like the big parts of the story. Were you ever expecting it to be, because, you know, with how Arya, like I said, first started working at Pillbox and now she goes to being a CEO of Dynasty, with that process, was there a moment to where you didn't think it was going to be this big, or where like her position would be so like kind of demanded, right? I guess kind of through the city. Like, was there a moment where you kind of knew it was going to happen, or was like you never really expected it to happen?
I never really expected it because I left the hospital because I had been doing that kind of RP for over a year. So I went to Dynasty because I was really burned out and to try something new. And it was super fun because, you know, I was just a junior realtor. You know, you can sell at your own pace and stuff like that. But the transition from a normal realtor to CEO was drastic. I was happy to have Jackson at the time. Like, if I was alone, I don't think Dynasty would have been as strong as it was, because he honestly kind of made the like, you know, the, how do I explain it, like a strong base for it to kind of build on.
Yeah.
Because when I became CEO, I immediately had to go on an LOA for a month. So he had a month like by himself with like Shiloh. And then when I came back, he kind of just drifted in and out. But that 1 month, he kind of got everything started, and it was really good. But it's nothing that I really expected, because I left the hospital because I was burnt out. And then I just kind of, you know, was a realtor for 3 or 4 months and got put into another big scenario. But I've enjoyed it. It just has its moments, of course.
Right. So I want to take out a 360 here, because I know for damn sure that Arya, again, Arya has a lot of interesting backstory, and I know, I want to, I kind of want to, you know, you kind of give a rundown of kind of some of the stuff that Arya's kind of been through, that is kind of like out the box RP, I guess you can say. You know, like at one point Arya was a zombie, right? It was zombie or vampire, I can't remember which one it was. Right? Zombie. Okay. And then what else was, well, there was some other stuff like possessed, right? At one point
She had to eat eyeballs.
Oh,
and she was possessed.
so
Alright.
so my question is, right, is there a moment in RP where Arya tells Chi-Chi all these things that has happened, or you, as obviously an Arya, do you just kind of push it to the side because it's just like something that would never really be brought up, you know?
I used to talk about those things a lot in
Uh-huh.
public, just you know, openly. Like, I think Jimmy knows all the stories. I remember when Arya first started dating Darrell, she just put it all on the table. She was like, "This is my history. This is what I've been through," and
Okay.
you know, he was kind of freaked out about it.
Oh, I
So
was
now,
there. I was there for
yeah,
that, because he pulled me aside. I was like, Jimmy, what the fuck is going on? And I was like, I don't know, bro.
so just moving forward, she doesn't really talk about it anymore because she realizes, like, hey,
It's
this
creepy.
isn't really normal.
That's
Like, to her,
creepy.
this is normal, but to everyone else, they're like, what the fuck? She had to eat eyeballs? Like, what the fuck?
Oh, by the way, hey yo, wanna show love to Rita Place. Alright, love you, girl. Alright, anyway.
So yeah, it's just recently she doesn't talk about that stuff. But wait, what was the original question?
Basically, if there was a time, right, like, would Arya ever kind of sit Chi-Chi down and say, hey, like, I guess more of like a bonding experience, kind of like talking about like past and stuff like that? Would Arya ever sit Chi-Chi down and kind of like tell her, like, hey, like, what, you know, this is what happened in my life? And if so, I guess kind of like a double-sided questions, like, Chi-Chi, how would Chi-Chi react to like, with all the stories that Arya would tell Chi-Chi?
With all the stories that she has been a part of, I don't think any of them were really like traumatic. I mean, the only one that she really talks about is that, you know, of course, her knees, which she like to bully
R.I.P.
her about.
R.I.P. R.I.P. Sorry.
She was tortured in humane labs and beaten with a baseball bat, where her kneecaps are basically broken. That they couldn't be repaired, so she has English. So she has metal knees. There we go. So that's probably like a situation she would explain, but like when it comes to like the possession,
She was in a cult. I'm not bad. I just remembered. Ari was in a fucking cult at one point.
Eyeballs.
Yeah, she fucking. Oh, and you know what's crazy, right? You know what's crazy, Chi-Chi? Is my character changed the way Arya got out of that fucking cult, by the way.
Thank you, by the way.
Which is so fucking crazy to think back now. Is I literally made this character to be a conflict character. To just be like, you know, like Oz was completely black and was like, once you kill your loved ones, you can't stop, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then Arya was like, what? Wait, what?
What?
Yeah, I remember that. Because do you remember like 1.0 when everyone had red eyes?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The fucking cult.
So the Satanic Temple. Arya joined it because she wanted to reconnect with one of her friends that had passed on, which was like the eyeball story. So it's kind of like two stories merging together. So her and JJ joined the Satanic Temple. But then one day, I think it was like right after she got her eyes, she saw your character. And she was like, oh shit. Because she just got into a new relationship. She just made a bunch of new friends. She's like, I might kill people. So she just automatically, from that point on, she was supposed to get from like, I think, white eyes to red eyes. And I just kind of kept her at the white eyes stage. And it just created its own story of its own.
Yeah, and then fucking they were talking about how, you know, this white eyes, right? But then I was like, you know what? This whole RP scenario is basically just like they're just building onto it, kind of like winging it, right? I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna say my character. It like there's a slight chance that it might actually just like backfire, turn your eyes black, and make it to where you kill all your loved ones. I had these little marks on his face. That for each mark was one of his loved ones in his family that he killed, like his son, daughter, and wife, all that, right? And so basically said that, you know, if you keep going on this path and you can't stop, I think that's the one thing that Arya, like, and obviously the character was like, okay, I have to stop. I have to somehow stop. And then so yeah, that was another thing that just, oh my god, it's the crazy to think about back then, you know.
Yeah, because she never really stopped. Like her eyes never changed to red, even after the sacrifice that she had to do. Rest in peace, Teddy.
Jesus.
But I think just really the like going into 2.0 just kind of ended the story itself, which was, you know, a little bit sad, but it just kind of, you know, nobody had red eyes after that.
Yeah, the whole thing just stopped as soon as my character kind of came around. And what's crazy is that once Arya backed out, other people started to back out too. And it was just like, I don't know, it was really great to be a part of. Yeah, she fucking Arya is this whole like fucking cult.
I love story RP. I miss it. Like I haven't done like a good story like with Arya. Like of course I had like Canvas, but like with Arya I haven't had a good story in a while.
I got some cooked up that Arya could be a part of.
I love story RP.
It's dealing with humane labs, but we'll I don't know.
Story of my life.
Oh boy. All right.
But yeah, so I guess kind of piggyback from that back question with Chi-Chi, like how would Chi-Chi kind of react if Arya just flat out just told Chi-Chi about all this stuff that's happened in her past, you know?
Well, I would first ask and be like, so you're done with it, right? Like, this was like a past thing, right? You're not doing this right now, you know? Because, you know, if she was still doing it, like, low-key, you know, definitely, you know, it'll change the RP aspect of our family.
Really?
Well, no, I'd still, you know, I would still consider her as my mom. I'd keep her as my mom, but maybe not, like, be close. And just in case, you know, there was, like, a little, you know, how you, like, those little cults, you have to, like, sacrifice a child or something. I don't know. I don't want to be that child that she sacrifices, you know?
She knows which child. Exactly. You're fine.
I mean, I am not the favorite for a reason, you know? There's got to be a reason, so.
Well, so right there, right, is like, it's already, like, that conflict is already there, right? To where it's like...
It's a dangerous thing, right?
Yeah.
And then, well, then maybe, like, it could overturn. Maybe if I'm like, you know what if, like, you know what, Mom, let me get on your side. Let me try and see what it feels like. So maybe I'll get like a chicken eyeball, maybe like RP that out, and be like, all right, mom, this is the closest. I'll try this out,
No,
and then maybe like
It's a
try
chicken
and like,
eyeball.
and then try to eat it, and then like kind of
want
like
to eat the eyeball.
accidentally just like swallow and start choking, like mom, and yeah. So yeah, it all depends. I like doing like RP stories and adding like a little weird or funny twist to everything. So, maybe like I'll be like, stay away from her for a little bit, or next time, you might see her and I in like a black gown and a black robe trying out chicken eyeballs. You never know.
So okay, so obviously, like you said, with Arya's story, she's had a lot of just like very heavy base story and built up stuff like that. Chichi, would you ever try, like you said, try that type of story, or do you just, or is that something that's just kind of like that element that you just couldn't really get into, or?
Well, see, it's weird. Like as much as I want to do like say like crime stuff, I'll have like certain characters for like certain situations. Like for Chi-Chi is like I try to involve her in different kinds, but because again of the whole like yeah, in order to be a business owner, you have to like have a clean record and don't be a felon. It is like kind of hard to sometimes do some of the let's say activities I'll be invited to do because sometimes you could like catch a felon and then boom, everything I have is gone. Um, but if there's a chance and all that, oh hell yeah! Like there's like a group of Nyx and Scarlet from Echo. We do like we have like our own little thing called the Heathers. We're like a group of we call each other moms.
Yeah,
that we,
Kree got asked to do like a photo shoot with the Heathers, and I was like, it's a cult. She says no, kind of. I was like, what?
Yeah, it is. Well, I guess you can say I am in a cult too. I guess it's like a mom cult. Like we.
And Arya's not invited? Oh my.
Well, I can have my mom be a mom. I'm the only one that she's taking care of. She's not. No, no more adoption. No more none of that. So
I
I'm.
don't plan on it.
All right, good. You heard that, folks. You heard that, right? All right, full meta.
Caught in 4K.
Okay. So if like we're just like call them moms that just pretty much like find like a group of people or even like so example, I think it's Scarlet. She's the mom. Supposedly she's the mom of FSM. So, and then I'm the mom. The Heather, the mom for Little Soul. So like every week, like once a week, we would either meet up or do it ourselves. We would go to I would go to Little Soul, meet up with a couple triad members, and then I would give them food, some joints, armor, and some money. So, like an allowance. So, it's like a little mom duty. It's like the mom of the neighborhood.
Oh, okay. So it is. Well, I mean, it's not really like eyeball eating. I guess it's more of just like a.
Spreading positivity and reassurance. I'm not eating eyeballs.
But so I guess like you said, like would I mean I don't really again.
I mean, if she ever invited me to do crazy stuff, like I would go along with it. As long as again, like if I feel like all right, I might really get in trouble with the law on this one. I don't want to lose everything.
Well, so yeah, so obviously if it was no like law kind of like having to worry about your character like losing anything, would you just like he's like okay, like yeah, for sure I'll try it out.
Oh hell yeah! Oh yeah, definitely. Oh
yeah,
I'll be on board the whole time. Like like if Arya ever invited me to do a cult thing, I try it. To a certain extent. Before eating the eyeballs, but yeah.
Okay, that's a whole different story. She didn't want to eat the eyeball. She was forced to.
But you ate the eyeball.
At gunpoint, yes.
Oh, at gunpoint. Oh, that's
Yeah.
I didn't know. Oh,
Yeah, so there's a lot more to that story.
you gotta see. There's a difference between you gotta tell me you got a gun pointed at you versus like, hey, look, an eyeball. Let me do it because I'm part of a cult that eats eyeballs.
No. So that story is there was a girl named V, and she was a girl that was stuck between both worlds. She was
oh yeah, this is what they say.
also living. And she first possessed JJ. I don't know if you remember him.
I remember JJ. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she first possessed him with a lullaby, and that was like her thing was a lullaby. And one day I was working at Pillbox because I was still there, and she got a call to the trailer park across from Bolingbrook, and you know how there's like that garage that can open. There V was inside, and Aria was scared of V because JJ is all crazy. She was in there, and Crackhead was dead on the floor, and he was like a really well-known character too. He was dead, and she basically was like, if you want to save JJ, you have to join us and eat the eyeballs. And Arya was like, I don't know about that. And she was like, well, I mean, it's either eat the eyeballs or die. So that's why how she got possessed was to kind of like save JJ. And then one other person got brought into the story. But it basically ended with her um, wanting to go to like the other side and like pass on. So Arya helped her pass on and killed V. So that, yeah,
Arya's been through shit. What the?
yeah.
That's what I'm saying, right? So that's what my biggest thing is, right? Because obviously, like me and Arya is one time, like we were chilling in VC and we were just going back and forth with like the most weirdest fucking RP, like because me and her have this weird thing we love, just off the wall, like RP don't really see on the normal day, you know, like for example Apollo, fucking Rex, Mr. Ink, Mr. Smiles, all that fun stuff, right? And like with how much Arya's been through, that's why I'm always kind of like fascinated right now, is that like like how Chi views Arya now, would that change the way that she views her after she kind of obviously like opens up more about her past, even though grand enough it may be in the past, but like just to let Chi know like, hey, you know, this is what I've kind of been through. Like it's just a lot though, right? To kind of like just to see what that person kind of went through.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if she ever did just, open up and, tell Chi-Chi about the whole thing, I mean, Chi-Chi loved Arya for, a long time now as her mom, nothing changed, so I'd still, she'll still be my mom, and I have her pretty much just, like, explain, be like, so you need to, like, start from, like, A all the way to Z, like, you need to tell me, like, just tell me everything. Don't hide anything. I don't want to, like, come home, have to work, in, from the gun store and be like, all right, I need to go to the, go home. And next time, I see her, like, in a, again, in a black robe, the whole place is dark. And I'm like, all right, like, but if she told me about it, maybe be like, all right, don't worry. I know, she's doing her thing. I'm going to go in my room. But I don't know if this, it definitely not going to change the RP. Well, it will change, like, family RP. It wouldn't, but, like, RP in general, it would, like, so if she asked me, like you said, would you try some stuff? Be like, yeah, just for the RP and, the fun of it,
Okay. Well, so I guess the next thing kind of want to see is that, like, with how much Arya has been, like, Arya, if there was ever a time where some big story is coming, right, and there was, a way for Chi-Chi to kind of join, would you try and see if Chi-Chi would want to, like, if there was some way to bring her in, would you bring that to that type of RP, or would you just be like, it's a bit much to bring like an extra person in the thing? Because it is sometimes a bit much, right, to kind of like try and bring someone in who have never really experienced a type of RP, and it can be a little overwhelming sometimes, right?
Oh, absolutely. I guess it would really depend on the story. I know a lot of that for me I don't do, especially with Arya anymore, because like Chi-Chi was saying, she has this huge job that she doesn't want to lose. So when it comes to like stuff like that, because she was like, V was killing people, so like if Arya had a job at the time, she could have lost everything. Like at the hospital, she was just a doctor, so it wasn't as important. But now it's like a whole different dynamic. So it would really have to depend on the story, because we're both business owners, so I wouldn't want us both to lose things.
Right. And see, that isn't that kind of like the way you look back at it, it's just like, that's one of the craziest things to think, is that back then it was like, oh, something weird's happening, oh, I'll jump on that thing right now, no problem. But now
really do that anymore.
You can't do that stuff anymore. That's one of the reasons why I'm really scared to kind of do like Jimmy's story, like with him going crazy or some shit, because I'm just like, if I do one wrong thing, it's fucking over.
Everything's gone.
Yeah, everything's gone. And so it's just like so I guess with that kind of, obviously being said, there's been times when Chi-Chi said, obviously, like, when she does, like, she used to rob stores, stuff like that. I guess with Arya, like, was there ever a time where you modify Arya's kind of RP and her attitude on certain things, just because of how the bar is set so high? If you were to do something, everything is kind of taken away from you, right? If you do something that could potentially ruin everything, is there a moment where you've kind of modified the way that Arya kind of RPs and handles certain situations, or is it still kind of like if something were to be dropped in your lap, would it still be the same, or do you have to be like, okay, well, I'll take a little bit of attention to it, but just not as much as I normally would?
That's a really tough question because like she's friends with a lot of crims, right?
Yeah.
So if they ever, the thing is, if they ever needed anything, she would absolutely put everything on the line for it. So I guess it would really have to depend on like what she is willing to do. But I don't know. It's really risky because it's been a year. So I'm not sure. Like it would really have to be important for her to try and risk everything.
I get that. I get that 100%. The world wants what's behind.
Oh hell no! Oh
Chi-Chi's
hell no! Oh no! Only a few. I'm sorry. That's definitely yeah. So that's not the first time. Trust me. I've gotten several messages, whatever, like Discord DMs, people asking, what do you really sound like? I want to know what's behind that. And that's like what I kind of like about it is like, part of the role play is like the immersion, like, like I actually have people like, it's obvious, like, yeah, they know I'm a voice changer or whatever. But it's pretty awesome, like, to keep the immersion where people, some of them actually like message you, were like, hey, what do you really sound like? Or to be honest, I even had like, some people asking me like, so what are you? Or like, like sometimes, hey,
what the?
yeah, like what I'm like, what am I? I'm like, they're like, I'm not to be like, what are? I'm like, oh, well, and then I tell them what I am, and they're like, oh, really? So what do you sound like? I'm like, no, that's where I stopped. You're gonna, but only a few, like, pretty much like since I how do I say this? Like moved to Echo, only a few know what I sound like. So like to be honest, while we were getting ready, Arya heard what I really sounded like the first time.
God. It's so good.
Okay, I was gonna say, oh my god. I was like, wait a minute, what is that supposed to mean?
No, I already told you sound hot.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's literally what I told. That's literally what I told you. I'm not even kidding. The other day, I was like, "Yo, you sound fucking hot." Oh my god.
No. Alright, so I'm gonna go make a male character after this, and we're dating. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Already taken. Sorry.
Alright. Well, oh damn it.
Fuck.
Your father?
Oh, my father. Okay, never mind.
Hey, Polly, am I right?
Oh my god. I mean, hey, there's people with like, yeah, it's actually, yeah, there's people with like multiple girlfriends and boyfriends.
Yeah, Polly.
Anyway.
Yeah, good Polly.
Yeah, so nothing wrong with it. So.
Yeah, that's a thing, somewhat maybe.
Mhm.
Oh, they asked who knows. I don't know if that's like sensitive information.
All right, so
I don't think.
no, that's fine. All right, so the people who know is Arya, you, of course. I have, well, in character, Emma Stone. She was actually like the first one because she was like, I consider her as my day one. So like, I tell her everything and my problems, and I actually she was my first person that I go to every time. I go in and I'm like, hey, do I sound like myself? Like, am I good? Am I like? And they'll be like, oh yeah, you're good. I'm like, all right, thanks. So like, cause sometimes I'll be flying in and hopefully, it only happened once, but it was all the way back in the day, so it's good. But I am. Like they say, you don't sound like yourself, like they say. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go be right back. But I just have some certain people know, just for like, to know what I sound like. So in case like I do have, like voice change problems or whatever, they know what's going on. They know what I sound like, and I'm not trying to like ruin the immersion for others where it's like, oh, that's what she sounds like or something,
Well, I mean, what was his name? Travis, right, Aria? He does the same. Constantly having issues. And there was one point where we were in Dynasty office, and he was just talking, it was really nilly. And I looked in my eyes, and I was like, you don't sound like yourself right now. And he just got real mad because I guess everyone kept telling him he didn't sound like himself, but like he actually didn't sound like himself. And then he came back.
No, he couldn't fix it. That's why he was mad.
Oh, he couldn't. Oh shit. Okay. But yeah. So yeah, he uses it too. But I don't know if he uses it for his other character. I don't know if it's like a one character.
That was his real voice.
Well, I'm saying the voice changer.
Travis is the voice changer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, but like his other character, I think he's like an EMS. That I don't know if.
No, Travis is the EMS. His Mason is his crim in that.
Oh, Mason's. Does he use a voice changer for that one?
No, that's his voice.
Oh, that's his voice. Okay. See, the only time, see, I only use voice changers for obviously Apollo because I can't sound like a fucking
Right?
just fucking.
Oh, jeez.
Which, by the way, is literally what my voice is. So whenever I use that voice changer, it's just me screaming on the top of my lungs. And I've had my
Wait,
little.
it's actually you screaming? I thought that's like
No, it's
like a soundboard. or
no.
something.
That everyone thinks it's a soundboard, but it's just me and just fucking fucking screaming on top of my lungs. I've had my little brother come in my room and just be like, "Hey, are you okay? Like, you good in here?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm good." I'm like, yeah, I'm good. So I just had just out of breath from screaming. Yeah, but
Oh, well, damn, golf clap to you.
yeah,
Props to that.
it's literally just like and just like fucking all that fun jazz. But yeah, it's just literally just screaming. I think I used a voice changer for Brick. He was a character of mine that I did like a deep, like kind of like what I did with Mr. Ink. But I can't do that. I can't do that voice as good as anymore because fucking the Ink story really ruined my fucking throat.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that voice was deep. Like,
Yeah.
deep.
That really ruined my throat to where I can't go that low anymore. So I still try and do it, but I don't buckle down on it to where I just use a voice changer and just kind of like and use that, you know.
Mhm.
I love Apollo 69. Yeah, hell yeah, true 69. What's going on, childish? Wait, is it childish TV? Hell yeah, PogChamp. So kind of I want to ask you a question. Actually, Chi-Chi too, because you. So.
Oh no.
So I know this isn't a weird question. Is there a moment where you get tired of meeting my characters?
No, absolutely not.
I don't even know some of your like. I don't even know. Who was that guy? Is it the one with like the underwear who pooped on my stove?
Oh yeah, that's me. That's yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was you.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
to
me.
be honest, till I watched the stream, I was like, this son of a. And then I was like, there's someone I didn't know it was you. So I was like, you know. And plus, every time I meet a character of yours, it's always a pleasure. Something different and new. Like different interactions of like how to interact with him. Like you have Apollo, like I have to interact with him differently than Cree. Like just different. And then compared to Jimmy, like with Cree, I feel like I have to be more professional because it's all business.
Yeah, it's true. That's fucking. I've noticed that like whenever I talk to Chi-Chi on like like Jimmy, she's all like joke around, but when I talk to Chi-Chi on Cree, she's just like yes sir.
Yes sir. What would you like me to do? Pose right here? Yes. And then with Jimmy, we're like, hey, do you want to go drifting in like the parking lot and make boobs? You know what I mean? Like we're just like so it's like different. And then with Apollo, it's like we're giving him rides, feeding him food and drinks, and it's like different every time. And then I got with the guy with his underwear pooping everywhere, like who I'm giving him tasers and guns on the down low. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, I still need that. By the way, thanks so much, Mom, for gifting 5 subs and also subscribing for 30 months. Jesus.
Hey yo, sheesh.
Jesus. Hell yeah, that's sussy Jimmy. Hell yeah. But yeah, no, I'm always getting a little self-conscious sometimes. I try my hardest to like not bother people who I normally are people because I'm like, I just feel like they get tired of seeing my fucking characters. I'm like, I don't want to like seem like a a bother or whatever the fuck.
No, we love you.
No, you're fine. Half the time I'm like I said, I'll be at the if well, thank God, that's the point. I hire a lot of workers so it can work and I can go go around the city. But if not, I'm usually just standing at the store doing nothing. So it's always fun to what Jimmy's characters can bring.
Did you see the I don't know if you may have seen it, but I felt bad that my One Life character was fucking with Yanni.
Will? Hold on, I'm gonna just.
Oh.
Will, what's going on, Will? What's up?
Oh Jesus! Security!
Yeah, security. Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, my One Life character was just fucking with Yanni at the gun store. I don't know if you knew about that or not, but like literally walked in, he's like, how can I help you? I was like, oh my god, I would like a gun, please, thank you. Oh my god, please, oh my god, a gun.
I don't even know who the hell that be.
It was Phoenix Ray. It's the one that looked like Permer.
Oh my god.
She hit him on the side of the head, and she fucking went to prison for like 30 months. It was crazy, actually fucking wild. Shit. Yeah. But yeah, I always get a little scared because I know that I do have to make some off the wall characters. I'm like afraid that like people just get tired of fucking seeing me. Oh God.
you said you have a different character for a type of roleplay you want. You know?
Every fucking well, so that I was gonna ask you that, is that like, is there a moment where you obviously are you have your cop character, and do you still have Canvas?
We still have Canvas. She's just out of jail chilling right now because I don't want to go too much in depth, but we plan on doing stuff with them.
Okay, all right. And Chi-Chi, do you have any, like, obviously you said you've had other characters, right? Or do you only kind of only play Chi-Chi?
Alright, well, again, because, different, like, RP, I have a female Crim character who I used to play a lot, but I kind of kept her in the back burner now, because, well, speaking about hearing what my voice sounds like, let's just say some people probably already have, because I have another one who is actually a male character. So, if you run into him, you know what I sound like, but you need to know who it is. So that's pretty much it, like, about that part. I play a male character, and he's on the Crim side as well.
Oh shit. Okay. So you still get that kind of like Crim feeling, right? But like,
Oh, hell yeah.
but I feel like you still want to have that Crim feeling even for like your like day one character, right? Like obviously how Chi-Chi was
of course.
for that Crim. Like you're like, I really want that, but it just isn't the same.
No, because like with Chi-Chi, almost being Echo for like a year and a half already, or like a year, it's like you build so much where, like any character, not even just, Chi-Chi, any character, like Arya, even Jimmy, like the longer you stay, how longer you've been there, it's like the more like, you're, well known, or people know you in the city, So it's like doing Crim, as much as I want to do with Chi-Chi, it's easier for her to do stuff because most of the people who have been there in a while, who know each other, let's say community, like they know her, you know what I mean? Compared to like who I started my new male character, nobody knows who he is. No, you know what I mean? So it's like a whole new start where it's like, at the point where do I have enough time to like try and make this Crim character and grind for it, Is it like worth it compared to like where Chi-Chi, she has it like already there, So I don't know. It's just more time and effort of like, do I want to, keep like Chi-Chi like trying to be clean, so like if I do become Crim, everything's good, but like again, I lose business, or can I just make another character for the Crim life? But most of the time, I'm right now sticking to, again, my main character, Chi-Chi. That's all. That part.
All right. Arya, have you made a Crim character yet?
No, I've never done crime.
You should do crime with me. You should do crime with me.
Crime. Let's do crime.
Join my underpants guy. Let's make a
Like
fucking.
the closest I've gotten to crime is Canvas.
That's not crime. That's
That's
what I'm saying.
That's murder. That's murder, duck. All right.
Yeah, we're talking about banks and trucks, not just like.
No, I've never. Well, actually, I had a character who she only robbed houses because they needed to make money, but that's all I've ever really done.
We should if you're down, to make like a goofy ass like Crims that are like.
Well, we have the Starkweathers.
Yeah, well, listen, that went from doing crime to then fucking macing pissing on our fucking car, and then we were like, oh, like it actually happened, and then they're like, and then Mason's like, no, it didn't happen, and he was trying to fucking power game. If you're watching, by the way, Mason, fuck you. All right.
Oh.
So is he watching? I don't think he's watching, but like he was trying to basically be like, oh, basically was trying to say that he didn't piss on the car at all, but we witnessed him doing it, like, and then they ran tests on the car, and Lola DM me was like, hey, does this actually happen? I'm like, yes, it did. And then when the test came back, Val was just like, you're fired. We're like, oh
shit.
We were just like, we
on the spot.
We were like, we should probably go to sleep, right? We should probably go to sleep.
You guys are ridiculous.
Yeah, it was Stark Roads were fun though. That was like there was one point, well, it was a very bad situation, but I was trying to make light of it, and Arya had to go in her head, but she was gonna call on Skype, and I was trying to RP the fuck out of it and be like, when I heard the noises, I'm like, what the fuck is that noise? Oh my god, what the?
Yeah, my real phone was ringing, and you could hear it through the mic when I was trying to talk, and he's like, what the fuck?
It's like it's just this, it's whatever. And I'm like, wait, you have a chip in your brain? oh god, we got to take the hospital, and then it was just like, I don't know, try to RP it out the best I could, but
yeah, that's how I agree. That's what I do. Like, that's why now I learned myself that, you know, on my cell phone, I put it on mute and vibrate every time I RP now, because sometimes, you know, I'll you know, while RPing, I'll talk, it'll either ring or I hear like, you know, like that bing, like that whole notification. So
Yeah.
I would like play it out, be like, oh, someone just texted me on my phone. You know what I mean? So I would pull out, you know, pull out the phone and, you know, look at it for like 10 seconds, you know, make it actually look like somebody texted me, and I'll tell them, oh, never mind, it was the wrong number or something, you know? So like I understand that. I try to RP situation, so now like, you know, the phone's on vibrate, so nothing like, you know, nothing could hear in the background.
So the thing that gets me the most, to be honest with you, is Travis's fucking ringtone. Have you heard it yet, Chi-Chi?
People's ringtones crack me up. What's his?
It's just fucking Skype.
Yes, the old Skype ringtone.
Old
Oh yeah,
Skype
that
ringtone.
one. Do 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 do.
It gets me because
That's
I think that it's ringing on my computer. I'm like, wait, it's just fucking ringtone. Sometimes he won't pick it up because it'll be in his head, and he'll just keep going on and on and on. But it's whatever though. But yeah, so that's kind of pretty much about all I really want to talk about. I hope you kind of enjoyed the questions and being here. Appreciate y'all stopping by. Like a crackhead. But you look great. Aria, what?
Yeah,
Oh,
look at
Jesus.
that.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So if anybody in chat, while we're kind of closing, if you have any questions, anything to Aria or Chi-Chi about what they have planned for future RP, or if there's anything you kind of want to know that I didn't get a chance to kind of get through.
Hello.
But I appreciate everyone coming by. It's always a pleasure to see people come by and chill out, and found out that a lot of people like this. They literally just pull up on their computer and like lay down and just listen to it. So that's pretty cool. I didn't think people would actually want to listen. Oh god. Yeah, it's just nice to chill. But how are you two such cuties? Yeah, how are you such cuties? That's a real question.
Friends in the family.
Friends in the family.
The blood, you know, the blood genes are pretty strong.
Again, got another question. Why are these two so cute? Wow. Okay.
Hell yeah. Well, the thing is, she wasn't even supposed to be my daughter originally.
Excuse.
You were my goddaughter, and then I basically was asked every day when you were going to be my daughter.
Okay. Alright, now I know how it feels. Tell me more. Tell me more.
Oh, I literally begged you to be my daughter.
I know. I thought I actually forced you, because every time I saw her, so at one point, I was stopped by Mia, and then she never it came around at one point. I'm like, oh, she just abandoned me. So before then, I would always call, because of Darrell and, you know, Aria. I would call Aria godmom, godmother, and then next time, you know, I was like, you know what if I became like your daughter? And then she's like, oh hell yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. So I called her mom, and then eventually, yeah, now she's my mom.
You basically power gamed already.
Yeah, hell yeah. I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna hell yeah. That's what I'm doing right here.
Power game daughter.
Right now, no choice.
Jesus. All right. Well, I mean, shit. Champ, I
Well, good to know that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, well, I kind of like this because I got to know that, you know, the backstory of Arya.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, a little bit.
But yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, right? Is that a lot of times you never get the chance to because so much is happening in RP in general. Even if you're just kind of chilling, you're still doing back end stuff, right? Because pretty sure Chi-Chi, you're doing back end stuff for guns, you know, and then also Arya's doing, you know, she's doing emails and stuff for Dynasty. There's never really a chance to sit down and just kind of this is what fucking happened to your character. What the fuck, you know?
Mhm.
And so, you know, it's kind of nice to kind of sit down, and obviously, you know, you two RP together as family. And I was like, well, like I said, everyone always talks about, you know, dating RP. No one ever talks about family RP and the stuff that happens before the family gets together type thing, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what something different, because this is where actually I never did the whole family RP before. So when I came here, people were like, when I heard adoption, people being mom and dad, I'm like, hey, yo? I was like, what? I was like, all right. So, you know, I was like, I guess I'm going to go find a mom. So then, you know, now I'm here with her, so.
I don't know who started that. Who was just I want to adopt this person, and was just
Well,
whoever
well,
it was.
Yeah, at first I was like, people are like, yeah, it's kind of weird, adult adoption. But for me, that's the point of the RP. Like you're supposed to like adopt and like make it sound like even though like they're adults adopting each other, it's just like kind of like have to like do the RP where like I was adopted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, even fucking Jimmy adopted Trayvon, and like the whole reason why he adopted Trayvon was because of the goggles. That was the main reason. Not gonna lie to you, because he wore goggles, and Jimmy was like, "Hey, you wear goggles? Yeah, sure, come on, let's let me adopt you."
I learned that like months ago. I didn't even know about that. You were like the dad to like Trayvon was like, Dad. I'm like, hey, yo, who?
Yeah,
I was like, oh.
Yeah, Trayvon North, Jimmy North, yeah.
But I don't know, like with the RP, like with the whole. I know I'm supposed to say, our bias, but I'm gonna make it sneak, just sneak this in real quick. But like, yeah, with the whole family RP, it also like helped me like progress. Like without Arya and like without some of the people, like mainly like like the connects and stuff, I wouldn't be where I would be today in the RP kind of situation. So thanks to you guys. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Oh, that was sweet.
Mhm.
Fuck you, Arya. All right. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, fuck you, Arya. Yeah, go eat some eyeballs.
Oh, Jesus! Oh my God!
I was just kidding, Mom.
How did I get to be bullied?
Prime time to get bullied. Well, again, I appreciate everyone coming by. It means a lot. Thank you both for taking the time to come here and chill. It means a lot. Again, I appreciate everyone coming in chat for chilling and just listen to us.
Oh, I love the avatars. Sorry, I love the avatars.
But and thank you again so much, Mom, for gifting 5 subs and also subbing for 30 months. Fucking crazy. Wait, how many?
That is crazy.
How many months is Will at? Will's at 25. He's five away. Jesus. So who's next? Gigi's best RP girlfriend. Oh shit, yo.
No shots. Oh, that's my girlfriend, Charlie. Hey. Hey, girlfriend, I'm famous. Boo boo. I'm just kidding. Alright, I'm done.
What the fuck? Oh my God. Okay, man, calm down. Jesus. Oh my God. Oh my God. Crazy. I think I'm gonna rate. I don't know if Benjamin is AFK, but he's just dancing on stream. I feel like we just need to just go spam in his chat, just Jimmy Sussy. All right, how about, does this sound good?
Bet.
Just,
Alright,
yeah, so we're just gonna go ahead and rate him, and while he's dancing, we're just gonna spam Jimmy Sussy in his chat. Again, I appreciate y'all coming by. I don't know if I should say who's gonna be next. Oh, it would be a surprise. Fuck it, why not? Oh, keep an eye out for who's next. Who's next is gonna be pretty cool. I'm excited. But again, I appreciate y'all both for coming on, and hopefully we can come on for like season 3 at some point and do a little update or some shit.
Hell yeah, it was fun.
All right, we're gonna start this raid. Make sure to spam Jimmy Sussy in his chat. All right, until he says something. All right, a wall.
Alright, y'all. Love y'all. Can't wait to roleplay with y'all in about, 30, well, depending how long the train is, but yeah. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. Don't forget to get your shit from Locked and Loaded. Alright, bye.
Oh my God. I'm surprised you haven't done like an ad yet for Locked and Loaded, like an actual like.
Oh, I tried, but let's just say, it's complicated. People always ask, why don't you give me money ahead of time so I can work? Because, every time I do, they're not there anymore. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that does happen. That does happen.
Yeah, so it's hard to find a reliable source. But anyway, okay.
All right, we're gonna raid Benjamin. All right, I'll see y'all later. Y'all take care. I love y'all. See ya.
See ya.
Rated.
Bye.